Okay, so today I have a load of laundry and I have some clips, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to film how I manage a home while continuing to try to maintain a decluttered and cozy home. Also, how I manage my ADHD tendencies and my mental health while doing all the things. If you're new here, I am a mom of 3 and I work full-time remotely from home. And I enjoy making content about keeping a cozy home, a simple home, and keeping your space minimal and decluttered, and creating an environment that is basically just easy to maintain. Streamlining different organization structures, stuff like that, to make it super easy to keep up your home. Does this mean that I am perfect at all of those things? No, I'm not a professional at this. I just really do have a passion for it. And it's something that I have literally worked through my whole entire life. I do believe I have some tendencies of OCD, and I definitely have ADHD tendencies. That's why in my videos you might see me staring off away from the actual camera, because it's one of my stimming things. I literally just kind of have to, in order to formulate a thought, sometimes I need to squirrel. You know what I mean? All of that to say, there are ways and things that I've implemented in order to create a home, I should say, that is not overwhelming to maintain, because if it is, I just can't. Like I literally flatline. I become paralyzed by ideas or thoughts or just the clutter or mess. All right, so what I'm gonna be sharing within this video is one of the ways that I maintain this, and that is by time tidying. And how I do this, and a lot of people have caught on to this. I have done this since I was a little girl. I would think, okay, I have this amount of time until school starts so I can get XYZ completed. And I have kind of brought that throughout my life. And now I actually do my time in blocks so that I can maintain and do the things that are my non-negotiables for that day. Okay, so what does that all mean? And just stick with me here. Now, before I get into all of that, I'm gonna share with you 2 of the other things that I do in order to maintain and keep my house the level of cleanliness and minimalist I like. I don't consider myself a minimalist, but when I think about how I do life and how I maintain and keep the things in my home, I definitely am more minimal than the average person, I would say. The first thing that I do in order to do this is to really think about the things that are being brought into our home. I never, ever go first to buying something new. That is something that I just don't do. Why this contributes to me being able to maintain a home is because I don't ever create a relationship with the items in my home. You know what I mean? Like, I don't ever spend a very shocking amount of money on the things, so that if something were to happen or I need to get rid of it, I'm not like, oh no, we're never gonna make the money back that we spent on it. It's so easy to go out and just consume. But the second I stopped doing that, I wasn't as overwhelmed, which led to that mental health load being lightened. Now, am I saying like, don't go out and buy the new couch you want? Heck no. Like, I bought our couch new, but I waited for a deal. I waited until we had the money to buy it. And there are certain things that I do buy that are brand new, but I buy them with a conscious mind. I'm not just buying to buy, and I definitely don't just go on trend and then purchase things accordingly. I've talked about this a couple times in some other videos, but one of the things that I would really love to do is buy a new dining room table. to replace my dining room table would be way more than what I want to spend right now. So I'll probably end up just refinishing it and then maybe buying a new dining room table when my kids are older and they're not in the crafting and painting phase of life. And I don't ever want my kids to not feel comfortable to do the things that they want to do in our space. Like, it's not just my space, it's our space. Before I go off on a tangent, because also that happens, why that contributes to really maintaining and keeping a home is because you become really conscious of the things that you're buying. I very rarely will have like a haul of stuff, decor or something from, you know, a big box store or something. I might have a haul from a thrift store. I might have a haul from you know, buying things secondhand off Marketplace. But I very rarely now have like a huge haul of decor and stuff. I reuse a lot of things. I, you know, really look out for things that are secondhand and used before, so that it's like I said, it kind of eliminates that decision making when it's time to declutter. You know, then I'm like, oh, well, I spent $5 on this, it's fine to get rid of it. Now, if I spent like, you know, $1,000 on something, I'd have a really hard time getting rid of it. And I feel like too, I would actually, the more I spend on something, the more I don't want it. It's like the funniest thing in my brain, but it's just how it works. So once you've gotten rid of the notion that you need to keep up with everyone, you know, you have, when you're looking at any of the social medias and you're seeing people and they've bought like, you know, the viral bat blankets or this or that, you know, the second you get rid of that idea, oh my gosh, it frees up so much in your mind. You know, you're able to actually look for things that you enjoy, like organically, originally you, not what everyone's telling you to buy. Really does lead, I believe, to way more of a better mental space. Okay, so aside from making the decisions of what to bring into my home, once things are here, then what do I do? Well, the second I bring something into my home, something has to go. So unless I have the space for both items and we plan to have both items still, something has to go. We are hard fast on that rule. You know, with my kids specifically, they have a new toy, then they have to, you know, give away something else. Even if I had an infinite amount of space, I think we would still continue this because it's really just created this mindset of giving, and also to create the space in our space for the new thing. You know, whenever we bring something in to get rid of something, then I'm like, oh, okay, it kind of brings me back to zero. You know what I mean? Whereas if I just kept bringing in items, then it would just start to accumulate. And it does. You know, it's wild to me. Every time we declutter a space or a room or anywhere, a closet, we still have stuff to give away. And it is wild to me. I'm like, how are we so conscious of this? And yet we still have so much to do. And then with that, you know, just kind of adding on to that, but another thing that we do is we always find a place for the thing. If it's a tangible object, it has to have a home. Now, I've gone through many different versions of how I organize things, and, you know, I've done micro organizing, I've done macro, I've done, you know, rotation of toys. Like, I've done it all in my motherhood journey. And what I will say is that just keeping the things that they're playing with and keeping the organization simple is key. For instance, my kids love still dressing up. They love dress ups. I used to have them all hung up nicely in our playroom closet, and they never used them. And when they did, they just shoved them off and then shoved them in the closet. So finally I was like, okay, this organization system is not working for their brains. So I asked them, how would you guys like to organize these? And they were like, let's put them in a basket. So I got them a toy chest that's easy for them to open and close, and they just shove it all in there. And we have never had an issue since. Now, do we have to declutter that every once in a while? Yes, because it gets crazy. Thing that I wanted to share that I do daily, hourly, whatever, depending on the day, is I create my non-negotiables. So these are things that I have to get done. Like it's like,
Stephanie, drop it and do.
I don't find it very overwhelming to give myself non-negotiables. Now, sometimes that means I do daily non-negotiables. That means in this hour, this is a non-negotiable. But these are tangible things that I can check off in my head that I did, and so that I can continue being productive. What does that mean? So ideally what I do is in the morning, I always make a cup of coffee, and I always enjoy it after the kids go to school. So I get the kids off, they're good to go. During that me time, after I have my reading time and my meditation, I will then sit and think about my non-negotiables. Sometimes I feel really overwhelmed that day, and sometimes even the activity of writing down a list stresses me out. It just depends on where I'm coming from in that morning. So sometimes the non-negotiable is one thing. You know, sometimes it's do the dishes and then go in and declutter the linen closet. Sometimes it's do the dishes and then do the floor. You know, it kind of depends on where I'm coming at and what I have to accomplish that day. Non-negotiables are not like brush my teeth, you know, those kind of things. There's different habits that you form that you just do that don't need to be on this list. I don't like put working as one of my non-negotiables. I have to do that. That's the habit that I have to do every weekday. Do I have to fold the laundry that's clean? No, it's not a non-negotiable unless it's gotten out of control. Then it becomes a non-negotiable. So what I'm going to share with you guys now is kind of the process to how I go about really getting through these non-negotiables. The first one was to actually put away clothes and clean up my closet. My closet is a very small space, but once it gets messy, it just keeps getting messy and messy and messier. And then it becomes something that's a really overwhelming project for me. So here I was a couple days without putting away my laundry, and I had shoes kind of thrown in there. So I really needed to clean it up and make it a space that felt inviting to me again. So let me show you how I did that. All right, so what do you do when you only have 30 minutes to get something done in your house that you've been needing to do? You set a timer and you get it done. I have to go to my kids' school in about 30 minutes. Oh my gosh, and I am needing a little bit of a break from work and staring at the screen. So I'm gonna take this opportunity to go in my room, tidy up and kind of declutter my closet space. And then I'm gonna come in and declutter and clean out my fridge in my kitchen. Those are the two tasks I'm giving myself today. I still need to do dishes. I still need to do some of the chores for my day, but these are the two things that I really need to do in order to make myself feel a little bit more clean mind. I'll probably have some groceries to put away later today, so I'm gonna be cleaning out that space to fill that up. I know that's just gonna make me feel better, so let's do it. I did not say it was pretty. We are starting at ground zero. It is, you guys, it's a mess. I even have purses. I mean, this is, you know, it's been a busy like week and a half if my closet looks like this. So let's get going. All right, so here I am just kind of staring at my closet, ready to kind of tackle this space. With anybody with smaller closet spaces, does your closet space get like this every once in a while? I feel like even if I had a bigger closet, I probably would have the same issues. As you can see down here, I'm kind of reassessing my shoe situation, and I actually had taken a microfiber cloth and wiped out all the dust bunnies under my shoes that were on the floor. I have changed this closet around a couple times, but this is what's working for me as of late in the last probably 6 months to a year, is basically just organizing my shoes and only keeping ones that I use regularly just right up front. And then I kind of cycle out if they're winter shoes or summer shoes or any of that. look at all that dust. That is all from underneath my shoes. And I literally did this just around before Christmas. So, you know, make sure that you're dusting all over because it just gets, you know, really dusty everywhere. So here I am vacuuming up all those dust bunnies. Okay, so I've tidied up all that. I've hung up all of the purses and then put some up there. And then I've taken all this down. I've got all of my empty hangers. And yeah, looking good. I'm also cleaning my sheets right now, but I've got to hang up all of these clothes now. Some of these I'm just going to fold, like this shirt, I'm gonna fold it into there. And then does anybody else like fold their nicer sweaters? I used to hang them and it just started to like give me creases up here. So now I just fold them and I just place them nicely stacked on each other. I've seen like cool things where you can have like handles and holders. I don't have the space in my closet currently. If I could, I'd love like sweater boxes. I've seen those. They look really cool and I like the way they look, but I don't have any space in this closet. I'm already jam-packed in here as it is. I only have a couple pairs of pants. I just keep it pretty minimal with my clothing. I don't overdo it, you know? I really do keep a pretty minimal wardrobe, which makes it really easy for me to clean up and put things away. And in order to space save in my closet, I stack my cardigans one on top of the other that are like similar in style but just different colors, just like that. And I just hang it up. I definitely tend to just keep kind of a couple things that I just wear on rotation. I am a big believer in utilizing what you have and make it work using it different ways. If you guys are interested in a video on that, I would love to do it. My body has changed so much in the last year too, so I'm also in this weird stage of trying to figure out what to wear. Still have some hangers left over. Much better. So I got all that cleaned up. I folded all of those, got all of that cleaned up and put away my shoes. Much better. Okay, let's move on to the next task. Then the second non-negotiable this week was to clean out our fridge. I clean out our fridge every single week. That is something that I have to put in to one of the days of the week. This certain day, I can't remember what it was, but I think I had like 10 minutes to do it. All right, so just a check-in. It is 1:12. I have about 20 minutes till I have to leave. And that only took me 20 minutes to organize and clean out my closet or clean it up. And now I'm gonna move on into the fridge. Okay, the fridge. Here's a before. This is a real look. We are at the end of our grocery. So we have to go grocery shopping tomorrow. I do have dinner tonight and I have stuff for tomorrow, but I need to go grocery shopping tomorrow. So let's clean this out So I feel ready for all of the food that I'm gonna bring in tomorrow or Thursday. All right, I go ahead and I get a rag ready. So I have this rag and I'm going to spray it down with this Mrs. Meyer's, and I use that inside of the fridge. As I'm kind of cleaning out the fridge, I was wondering, like, how often do you guys throw away food? We are pretty strict about not throwing away any food and not letting anything go bad, but sometimes it happens, like the Gatorade, I just was throwing it away. But we really try to cook what is in our pantry and fridge before it goes bad, because oh my gosh, like, it is so expensive for all of the food to feed 5 humans, you know? I think I prefer to clean it out every week so that I know what I'm dealing with. Nothing gets forgotten. Sometimes if I let it go too long, I'll forget that there are ingredients in the back of the fridge or in the door, and this kind of lets me know what I'm dealing with before I go food shopping. Just ran out of farm fresh eggs from my cousin. I usually get them from her, but I grabbed some of these last night because I made some brownies and I needed some, so I'm just gonna stock this up and then put in my order today. Gotta close the fridge. We do this every week and I make sure to clean out the fridge because there's something about when you buy new food, I just don't want there to be crumb and grossness. If I'm doing a deep clean, then I'll move everything out and obviously clean out all this stuff, but this is a quick cleanup. All right, guys, we've got this all cleaned up. Looks so much better. Like I said, it's not perfect. It's not completely deep cleaned, but it's decluttered and cleaned up in my mind. Let's see what time it is. It is 1:29, so we are doing great. I have to leave in like 5 minutes.
Archie actually perished trying to open the door. Died right there in front of him.
Deceased. Okay, so this was when I got home. I had gotten the kids. We were home. The kids were having some quiet time. And I had about 5 minutes before I needed to start work again. So I took this time to refill my granola jar and my chia seed jar, and then place them with my pantry items that I have a little spot above my stove for all those. Sure.
Is this a light?
Okay, so just to wrap all of that up, because it's kind of, a bit of a sporadic video, kind of sharing with you how I do these things and how I implement these things, but then showing you tangibly how I actually spend the time. So I will set that time, give myself that amount of time. If I'm feeling like, oh, I really could still continue going and I could maybe add another project to this time, or if I want to add time, that's great. I don't have all of the time in the world, and no one does have all of the time in the world to clean and declutter every single day. You would get so burnt out. That's why it's so important to really take note of the time that you're spending. Give that time a purpose. That is the biggest thing. These are the things that really have helped me to keep up a clean house. Is it perfect? Is my house always clean? Is my house always decluttered? No, 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 no. It is not. I mean, guaranteed you'd come over and you'd be like, why am I taking advice from this lady? She's got a pile of laundry on her couch. But these things will get you to a point where it's not overwhelming when you get to that point. When you get to the mess, it's not overwhelming because it's maintained. You know, I may have a huge mess in my playroom or living room or kitchen, but I know I can clean it up in 10 to 20 minutes. Like, it's not a big deal. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I got about half of this load folded, so I'm gonna finish folding this half. I like to do these kind of sit downs where I'm also adding in a bit of vlogging because I don't know, it's a little bit different. Also with my mind, it kind of keeps me entertained. So let me know if you like these kind of videos. Also let me know below what's something that you do to maintain your home. I really do love to hear what you guys are doing because I've gotten so many great ideas from y'all. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye y'all, love your faces.